we go.
We're live now. I think, aren't we? It says we're being live streamed.
Okay, we're live now.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Outreach, Education, and Advocacy Committee meeting. It is Tuesday, April 21st, 12:05 Central Time. I'm going to call the meeting to order. And I'll have Tambra do the roll call.
Apologies. Okay, we're live now. Sorry, I have too many windows open. So I'm going to call the roll. And if you wouldn't mind, to state the county that you represent, even though it's just a committee, I still think it would be good to have that information for anybody who may be watching. And I just want to remind everybody that this meeting is being live streamed on the Kentucky Commission on Women's YouTube channel. Persuade it to KRS 61.8263. And commissioners, you must be visible on the camera at all times. And please make sure your full name is showing on your screen and your microphone is muted until I call your name. All right. Christy Guffey.
Present, Callaway County.
Christine Thompson.
Present, Livingston County.
Ashley Atkins. Aman Ali.
Present, Pike County.
Brenna Caudill. Tal Green. Susan Hirschberg.
Present, Jefferson County.
Patty Mentor.
Present, Warren County.
Jennifer Masadi. Terry Owens.
Present, Fayette County.
Marita Willis.
Present, Jefferson County.
And Colleen Younger.
Present, Jefferson County.
Okay, great. We have a quorum. So I will turn it over to Christy.
Perfect. Since we do have a quorum, and since a February meeting was canceled, we need to approve the summary of the minutes of December 16th, 2025 committee meeting. And so if you please review the meeting summary. And if there are any additions or corrections. And if not, do I have a motion to approve? Yes, ma'am, Miss Marita. I can't hear you.
So moved.
All right,
Okay.
moved by Marita. And do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Colleen. Okay, so Commissioner Marita Rios, motion to approve the December 16, 2025 meeting summary, and Commissioner Younger seconded the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Thank you. The motion passes. And now I'm going to hand it over to Tamra for the outreach update.
Hey, I don't have much of an update, but so just as a reminder, Heather did complete the presenter's toolkit. So if anybody would like to use that to speak on behalf of the commission, just let me know and I'll get that over to you if you don't have it. And also at this time, we don't have any speaking opportunities available, but I will send those out to everyone as they are received. And I'm going to move on to our conversations with commissioners for the 2026 planning. These, of course, would be held virtually. And last year we held 4 in April. It was the Kentucky Women's Representation in Government. In June, the topic was Kentucky Women's Health. And August was Equal Rights Amendment and Women's Equality Day. October was domestic violence in Kentucky. So we need to talk about what topics we would like to cover in the coming year. And then there were some tentative dates that were set, and I'm not sure if these had been discussed previously, with everyone, or if these were dates that Heather picked. So I'm not sure where you all are with those. So, but I would like to go ahead and note that Commissioner Terry Owens has joined the meeting, just for attendance purposes. So, first of all, we had she tentatively had held June 12th for Women's Veterans Day. However, I will be on vacation. So I wanted to see if you all would be interested in moving that to another date. If not, I could try to see if there's other staff available that could help host that live for you. The next date is September 11th, and the following date would be December 11th. So I'm going to just open that up for a discussion. Also, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I believe in the last full commission meeting that Patty Miniter, Ashley Atkins, and Terry Owens offered to help with the planning of these, but I may have written the names down wrong. So if that's wrong, just let me know.
Still happy to help. Thank you, Tambra.
Okay, thank you. So what do you all think about the June 12th date? You would be on your own, and I would see if I could get someone here to assist.
Do we have the topic or the issues that are going to be covered in that conversation?
Well, there was a tentative note that I had, it was women veterans.
Okay.
Colleen, that's the day that many states celebrate Women's Veterans Day.
Okay.
And that's actually a bill that I carried in the General Assembly for 3 years and got it out of committee twice. So
That's great.
yes, I'm happy to run point on that because I've done presentations on it before.
Yeah, I'd like to also ask Terry if she would be a part of that because she is a
Yes.
active veteran.
ma'am.
And
Yes.
yeah,
I think it would be great to be able to move forward with that just because of, for the sake of momentum and the conversations with commissioners, because I feel like we've had some good traction so far, but having the right, IT, technical assistance and support would be critical because I know that we couldn't certainly have done the bourbon conversation without a tremendous amount of, not just guidance, but leadership all the way through the process from start to finish.
So Tambra, I'm familiar with making things like on live stream and the IT part of this stuff. As long as there isn't something that requires like your specific login, if it's something that you could like give authority to a commissioner to do, I would feel comfortable doing it. I also agree with the fact that because it's like actually a day that's celebrated, it's not just like some random date that we're picking. It would be a bit more meaningful to do it on that day, and you should enjoy your vacation. You work too hard anyway. So happy to help with that on that day.
Okay.
And you just let me know if you want to connect with me. We can do it offline as well, but I'm happy to help with that.
All right. So it sounds like everyone is in agreement to move forward with the June 12th. So let's look at September 11th. What topic would you all like to cover for that date? December 11th, we talked about, I believe, mental health, just because of the holidays and taking care of yourself while you're taking care of everyone else.
what about having some first responders since it's 9/11 and the anniversary of such, a horrific tragedy in the country, and the women not first responders are really not as forefront as the men are. And I think it would be really an opportunity for us to bring a great attention to the women who have chosen that field.
You know, Colin, we also had discussed doing like women in male dominated fields as like a theme for our work. So I think that's a great point. It's just finding such people.
Right.
So we'd have to probably look a little bit, but that doesn't mean they don't exist.
Yeah.
I'd
I think
also
that's
like
a great
to
idea.
suggest September is a Hispanic Heritage Month. And at some point, maybe a couple years ago, Heather and I had discussed possibly having some guests, some Hispanic women leaders speak, and it just never came to fruition. I think I forget what was going on at the time, but we just couldn't get it to get that put together. So that's also a possibility, or maybe women and immigration in Kentucky. So maybe something involved talking about immigration and the issues that we're having right now in the Hispanic community, because it is Hispanic Heritage Month. But that's just a suggestion. We don't have to go with that.
I love that idea.
I love that idea. I'm sorry, go ahead, Sue.
I think we go with that idea well, both are so meaningful and pertinent, but I feel like we could do first responders really anytime.
It would be
Whereas-
really neat if we had an Hispanic that was a first responder. Then we can acknowledge 9/11 as well as talk about his International Day. Or, I'm sorry, what did you, Christine just called it? That would be really neat if we can do both of those together. I think acknowledging 9/11 is important as well as the month of whatever that month is. That we acknowledge that. I think that's a great suggestion. And if not, then I think we allocate an hour. Is that correct? We can do the first half hour as one and the second half hour as another. So that's another opportunity. But
I think the trouble that Heather and I ran into was finding a Hispanic woman leader to speak on that day. I think it was just schedules, and I think there was just some of that conflict going on. So maybe I'll do, if it's okay, I'll do some research and some searching on who would be available, or what we would focus on, I guess, for that topic, if that's okay with the committee, the rest of the committee members.
We have a
I think it's great.
Hispanic Community Center in Louisville that is very active and very well run. That might be a good lead for you. And then the other thing that I was thinking is the director that is over the state disaster and emergency services. Take care, Susan. We'll be saying some prayers for you. The guy that's over the state disaster and emergency services, his last name is Gibson. His wife is a PVA in Boyle County, so she is my Boyle County colleague. And he could certainly give us probably a list of women and even Hispanic women who might be in emergency services and first responder type roles around the state.
Okay, that sounds good. And we've got time to start working on that. And we can narrow it down to those two. And maybe, like you said, we could find someone that, is of Hispanic heritage that is a leader in the first responder service. And maybe we could have them both at the same time. That would be really great. Okay.
And then one last thing, our very own state representative, Colonel Pam Stevenson, is a military, well experienced, articulate military veteran that would be great for that June conversation.
She
Okay.
certainly would. And Colonel Pam carried the bill after I left the General Assembly.
Just had coffee with her this morning.
Okay.
And came up, Patty.
All right. How about December? We have it scheduled tentatively for December 11th. Would you all like to entertain focusing on women's mental health around the holidays?
I'd really like to not, I'd like to expand it just slightly to not just be only mental health, but like a health in general.
Okay.
And that doesn't have to be over encompassing, but one of the things that, like towards the end of the year, I've noticed a lot of people are also having babies. And so maternal health is also something that I feel we should be discussing, which I think just connects to mental health in general. So I think the robust intersection of mental health and maternal services and opportunities would be great. And I'd be interested to see what.
That's really I love that idea.
Mhm.
And also covering like postpartum and menopause, both of those that are across the spectrum in um, age related issues for women.
Is there a possibility, I guess, because we did a panel with the bourbon, right? So maybe we can do a panel that can cover different varieties of health issues. Have a young lady that can do the maternal, postpartum, and menopause. Black OB here, she a young girl. So, and if we can find others to, if we can find two others that
Mhm.
can make up that panel, that would be good. That's a great suggestion, especially
Yeah,
in December. Yeah, that's really good.
that's a fabulous idea,
I
Marita.
like that, the panel idea.
Mhm. Okay. Well, it looks like we have set our topics and we can start reaching out and looking for participants to appear on those episodes. Okay. All right. That's all that I have on the planning. Christine, if you would like to adjourn, it looks like we've
So
covered
once
all of
we
our business.
identify people for these different topics, let's keep a list going. I mean, if you can confirm with the person, we know what the dates are and the time frame. What time do we typically do that?
I believe it was at 1 o'clock, but we can set it at a
Um,
time that if that doesn't work, we can set
Could
it
we
at a
do
different time.
a comparison of, and I feel like Heather provided us with the metrics for how, like how many people tuned in at that time. Does everyone agree that that time is working better than that morning slot, or should we go back to the morning slot? Um, I think we were testing out that like lunchtime slot just to see if we would get more engagement and more participants.
I think since we now know the topics and the dates, uh, um, we can blast it out there on social media platforms as teasers and yeah. I like the 1 o'clock, but if we could come up with whoever's the branding person on here with
Right.
something really cool, like conversations over lunch or something of that nature, yeah, I think that would be really cool.
So Marissa, Toa, and I are working on our social media. So I can definitely sorry, we have a little vocal 16 months now. But we are working to make sure that the social media aspect of all of this stuff is really good. Um, but I will also say that as we're sending emails out to individuals, let's try to templatize something. And I can help, Marissa, Toa, and I can also like create something so that it always goes out looking somewhat the same. And before we offer anybody like, hey, you've been selected, we just like send them a question of if they're available. After which we can reconvene, or even on text, we can say, hey, is this somebody who we want to confirm? If we do, then we just offer them in a template format again.
Okay. Anything else before I adjourn or before we adjourn? Oh,
Sorry, I was on mute. It looks like our next committee meeting is July 21st. So if you all would like to meet sooner to go over some of these ideas and the format, just let me know and I can add a meeting to our schedule.
we can also send out Tambra, if you're okay with this, send out like a follow-up email to this meeting on task assignments. Like,
Yes.
Amon, you were talking about the templates for the emails, speakers. We can kind of just like a little just brief summary and then a bullet pointed task assignment list, and then just touch base as we go until July 21st.
Sure.
We got June 12th. I mean, so we need to know who's on first and who's
you're
running
right.
that. So yeah, if we can have that as part
Okay.
of the email that we send out, that's really good. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm glad to volunteer a task or whatever you feel like I could be helpful with. I'm glad to do. And it might be important, as Marita stated, to at least have some kind of get together before the June 12th conversation.
Okay, I will send out a task list for you all to review. Make sure I get it right. I don't want to sign somebody up for something they don't want to try to work on. So, but yeah, I don't mind to do that. I'll try to do that this afternoon or tomorrow morning.
And then maybe include some in that email or list, include some possible dates of when we can touch base before the June 12th, right?
Okay.
June 12th to just finalize. Would
Sure.
that work for everyone? Does that make sense?
So will we start blasting out like a month? I mean, a month in advance that we can put it on social media, maybe, right after Derby time, so people could start getting it on their calendars, or I don't know if they sign up or something of that nature, but
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's a good idea to start. Oh, sorry, Amon, go ahead.
No. You're fine. I'm just saying our social media team, we've had a couple spring break weeks, so we are going to be convening very soon. And as soon as that happens, our goal is to kind of get everything on a calendar format so that we know, okay, our conversation with commissioners is a month away. This is what you can expect every week from leading up to that. The first week, this will come out, second week, this will come out. And it will again be templatized for the rest of the conversations from this point on. So as soon as that happens, even if it's pre us meeting again, we will send you an email so that you guys can review everything, and any input that you have, please do share with us. Because I think one thing that we are slightly lacking in is that social media, and once that starts popping, we're gonna be famous, ladies.
I hope you're right.
it might be even neat to connect to the other commissions, because I know at one time we were connected to other commissions to send them the information about, especially the conversations with commissioners, and maybe they can join. So it does help make us brand throughout the different states. So that was a great suggestion.
Okay.
Okay. I will, if there's nothing else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn today's Outreach, Education, and Advocacy Committee meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you. It is 12:28 p.m. and we are now adjourned. 12:28 Central Time.
Great
Thank
to
you,
see everyone.
ladies. Have a wonderful day.